96.1 KLPX, Larry Mack, Tesla, tomorrow night at Casino del Sol's Ava Amphitheater. Doors at 7, show starts at 8 o'clock, and I'm going to get out there on stage and say hi to y'all before they hit the stage. Get your tickets at Casino del Sol's box office or right here at klpx.com. I have Dave Rude from Tesla on the phone. Dave, thanks for taking some time out of a busy schedule to hang out with us a little bit on the phone today.
Man, so glad to be here. Thanks for having me on.
So I got some questions for you. What can people, you guys always put on a seller show, so I don't know how much more I could do to sell the show for you because I've seen you so many times, but what can people in Tucson expect tomorrow night?
Well, first, man, thank you so much. Appreciate it. Yeah, you know, we've been playing around a little bit with a couple of deep tracks here and there in the set, but you know, really the meat and potatoes, everything is all the classic Tesla stuff that you know everyone grew up on. You know, all the hits and all the hits and the live favorites, and you know, like I said, we've been throwing in a couple sort of left field ones here and there, just to keep it interesting because you know we're so lucky we've got a lot of diehard fans who come and see us you know multiple times, and you know we don't want them to ever get you know sick of the same set list, so we're always changing it up. We're changing the order, we're changing little things here and there, but like I said, you know, a good 80-90% of the songs are all the classic hits, because it's like, you know, there's a bunch of them that if you didn't play, people would get mad.
yeah, they're like, yeah, you know, people always go, why didn't you play this? You always play that. And then if the band doesn't play that in concert, they get upset.
Yeah, totally, right? Yeah, I mean, like one of the ones we've been throwing Song and Emotion in a lot. Like that's always a fun one, and we switched that out with Edison's Medicine, so we'll do usually one of those, one or the other, and sometimes we pull out the piano and do the acoustic version of Paradise.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, and of course all the, you know, Modern Day Cowboy and Little Susie and Signs and Love Song and all the hits. Like I said, we got to do those, but yeah, we threw in Mighty Mouse, which was an album track from Into the Now. We've been doing a really fun cover of a song called I Love You by the Klpx Blues Band. We actually had covered on Twisted Wires, but we've been doing it live, and we're actually going to go in and re-record that now in about less than a week. So looking forward to it, man.
So, you know, speaking of covers, you guys have always been known for taking an old song, making it your own, and making it new. How do you pick the songs that you guys decide to cover from somebody else?
Gosh, you know, it just sort of happens organically, but I mean, I'd say the deciding factor is Jeff's voice. You know, the ones that just suit him, and he's like, you know, I mean, I'm biased because I'm lucky enough to be in a band with him, but he's definitely one of the best singers in rock and roll, you know, still, and he's one of the rare ones who actually gets better with age. It's ridiculous to hear him sing. So he could definitely make anything sound great, but there are some that just like, whoa, that sounds like it was written for Jeff, you know? And so I feel like those are the ones that's like, yeah, that's it, you know? And like, just for the whole band too, like we can feel it. Like, yeah, this feels like Tesla, when we're just sort of jamming it out. Like, and, usually, you know, we don't really rehearse because we're doing the songs we've already done, but, you know, we'll rehearse new stuff at sound check and that type of rehearsal, or if we're actually already in the studio, we'll play stuff around there. You know, when I very first joined the band about 20 years ago, my first record was a covers album we did called Reel to Reel, which ended up being 2 albums because it was supposed to be 1 album, but then we started adding a track here and adding a track there, and ended up being like, geez, why don't we just do a double album? Like, all right, I mean, they're covers anyways. You don't have to sit here and write them for 6 months. We can just learn them in an hour. So, and that one, you know, because it was specifically covers and we were already in the studio, we would like, everyone had a list and, you know, picked out some, like, I think this would sound good for us. Oh yeah, I think this one feels like us. And then we'd sort of maybe listen to the song a couple times and then just try and jam it in the room, not recording, just sort of seeing how it feels and be like, you know, that one's a little bit weird. You know, if it's not really settling naturally, it's taking too long or whatever, it just doesn't feel right. Or like, oh yeah, that's perfect. That's kind of, you know, that's sort of how we picked stuff for that album. And it sort of, you know, that sort of continues on now, and we just sort of do one-offs here and there, you know?
Well, we're speaking with Dave Rude from Tesla. They're going to be at Casino del Sol's Ava Amphitheater tomorrow night. Get your tickets at the Casino del Sol box office or right here at klpx.com. And speaking of that, you kind of teased a little bit that you're going to head back in the studio and record something. Are you doing a new cover album? Or are you doing a new album of originals? Any new music on the horizon?
No, it's not an album. It's just a cover song. We always like to have something in the vault there, so you know we can put it out when we want to put out something new. We'll probably put something out later in the year, but not like a full album, but just like we've been doing the last few years, like a new song. So far they've been originals, but like one new song in a year, and then just sort of pushing that because like I was saying, most of our set is like hits and classics, so we don't have room to put in a bunch of new songs if we put out a whole album anyways.
Yeah, that's
so if
true.
we're only going to play one or two new songs, it's like, well, we'll just put out one or two new songs because the rock and roll record business is pretty much non-existent. So I mean, we make zero money from it, so it's pretty much an expense and a lot of time and stuff for us to do it. So it's like we want to do it, but we don't want to kill ourselves for a year making an album that doesn't do anything. So putting out one song, it's like, oh well, that's easy enough, and then it keeps it fresh for us, keeps it fresh for the diehards, and doesn't mess with the set too much. And it's like it's fun if the song's good. It's fun to have one new song in the set.
Oh yeah,
bands,
Well, how do you guys, do you guys meet? Obviously, I know how you guys figure out the covers you guys do. How do you guys figure out if there's a new song? Do you just come up with a riff, or Frank come up with a riff, or Jeff? How does that work?
Yeah, we'll all kind of do, like when we are doing records, it's like kind of everyone just sort of gets together a bunch of ideas and demos, and we've done it every way, like some of the records, since I've been here, it's we've kind of just gotten in a room and jammed, and everyone already had some ideas. It's like, oh hey, it goes like this, let's try it. And then other times we've different records we've had like each one of us makes full demos with the producer separately, and then we show it to each other, and we're like, oh yeah, this one sounds like it, and teach them the parts, and like, oh, this one, I got like 80% of the song, but it needs a bridge. You got any ideas for a bridge? And write it more like, which is more of the modern way, less like getting in a room, but more like sending each other tracks. And, there's, it's different, but there's magic in each way. And, I love them both. So it all depends. But yeah, it usually just starts with some type of riff and like showing it to a couple of the other guys, and we're like, oh yeah, that's cool, we should work on that. And again, really, whatever resonates with Jeff, whatever he gets excited about vocally, that's what's going to be the best song.
Well, again, we're speaking with Dave Ruud of Tesla. They're going to be performing tomorrow night at Casino del Sol's Ava Amphitheatre. If you don't have tickets, make sure you get them now. It's going to be a great July 4th celebration. Looking forward to seeing you guys tomorrow night, Dave, and I appreciate you taking some time and hanging out with us. If people want to connect with you guys, it's TeslaTheBand.com, correct?
Yep, and Tesla the Band on all the socials as well. Yep, that's us.
All right, Dave, thank you so much. I really appreciate it. We'll see you tomorrow night.
Dude, great talking to you. Thanks for having me on. I'll see you tomorrow.